Pipeline Studio is about understanding your workflow and knowing when it's running smoothly. Temporal debt is carried. Temporal debt does not remain where it is created. It moves. The moment a system chooses to continue without reconciliation, the debt is no longer local. It begins to travel through the pipeline, embedded in decisions, assumptions, and timing. What makes this difficult to see is that nothing obvious breaks. Output continues. Schedules hold. The system appears functional. This is because temporal debt is not carried by tools. It is carried by people, processes, and downstream stages that compensate without being asked. Finish work absorbs it first. Normalization smooths what was never aligned. Stabilization hides what was deferred. Human judgment fills gaps the system never closed. Each compensation makes the debt less visible. Each compensation makes it more entrenched. Temporal debt survives by redistribution. Instead of being resolved at the point of creation, it is spread across later stages where context is thinner and pressure is higher. This is why the system still feels fast. Velocity disguises burden. As long as work keeps flowing forward, no single stage experiences enough friction to demand reconciliation. Each stage only feels a portion of the cost. The debt becomes ambient. Downstream systems inherit decisions they did not make. They inherit assumptions they cannot verify. They inherit timing mismatches they must resolve on the fly. None of this feels like failure. It feels like effort. People work a little harder. Checks become a little more manual. Exceptions become normal. The pipeline adapts. That adaptation is what allows temporal debt to persist. The system becomes skilled at carrying unresolved time. It builds muscle around compensation. It gets good at making things work anyway. This is where the danger deepens. A system that is good at carrying debt stops noticing it. Compensation becomes invisible. Effort becomes baseline. The debt is no longer perceived as a deviation. It is perceived as how the system operates. Temporal debt is also directional. It always moves forward. It is never pushed back upstream on its own. Each downstream stage has less authority, less context, and less time to resolve what it receives. So it passes the debt along again, reshaped but intact. By the time it reaches the edges of the pipeline, the original source is unrecognizable. What remains is pressure, pressure on finished work, pressure on operators, pressure on schedules. Yet the system still appears productive. This is why temporal debt is so often mistaken for growth pains or scaling complexity. The symptoms look like workload, not misalignment, but the defining characteristic remains the same. The system is spending time it has already spent. Every act of compensation borrows against the future. Every unresolved decision narrows the margin for the next one. Temporal debt is carried until the system can no longer distribute it quietly. And because it has been spread so evenly, no single failure point appears. Instead, everything becomes slightly harder at once. This is how pipelines drift without realizing they are drifting, not because they stopped caring about alignment, but because alignment was deferred so consistently that carrying the debt became normal. Temporal debt is not heavy at first. It is light enough to move. That is why it travels so far. What makes carried debt especially resilient is that no single stage feels responsible for it. Each stage only experiences delay, friction, or extra effort in isolation. No alarm sounds, no clear fault appears. The pipeline adapts incrementally. An incremental adaptation is almost impossible to roll back. By the time the system feels strained, the debt has already been normalized. Carrying it feels like operating normally. This is how unresolved time becomes invisible, not because it disappeared, but because the system learned how to live with it. This concludes this session. Let what you've heard settle before continuing.